Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Nedmel74. We're doing a walkthrough of Ariandel this time. Make sure you've got the Ryan Blue moss clumps. We grabbed those in here before. This is sort of where you come if you've just talked to Gale. So if you look at my Cleansing Chapel walkthrough, you can see where we talked to Gale. You can kill the NPC in there, but he's only worth about 1,000 souls and he doesn't give you anything, so it's not really worth it. Anyway, moving on. You can actually ignore a lot of those enemies up on the right. We're going to go and primarily be focused on the items because there's so many enemies in this area that it's just not worth fighting them all. Soul item there, and there's going to be a poison gem around the back if we keep going. Those flies can actually cause you to have maggots on you as well, so just be a bit wary of that. Most of these enemies here in Ariandel, you can either shield break with a kick, or you can decide to backstab them. Typically, I'll go for the backstab unless they've got a shield, obviously. Right bumper attacks work fine, but if you got to go with a shield, he'll block pretty much all of them. So backstab tends to be the easiest, and shield guard if they've got a shield. If you run down here, you can grab the Ryan Boom moss clump, and you'll automatically fall down to the next section. There are other wolves up here. Try and hit them before they get a chance to do anything. You can hold your shield up, and that'll protect from their attacks, though. And then get ready to roll, because a lot of these trees are going to start using their fire and whatever they've got frost on you. I would recommend a fire weapon if you have one for Ariandel. I don't think I've really gone ahead and got one, but fire works really well, especially on these trees. And again, just holding up your shield and waiting for them to attack. Trying to attack them one-on-one, especially with the tree ladies, is probably the easiest thing. There's going to be a path up there, sorry, just to the right. That's going to be an area we're going to come down a bit later. Just pointing it out to you. It's by a big tower with lots of Millwood Knights, where we'll be going in not too much time. You can drop down through that hole. You don't actually have to drop down. You can come through the front. But there's the bonfire just in here. And again, we will be going down that way later. That's going to be where most of the bosses are and most of the map is as well. But there are some items that you'll miss if you do go that way straight away. So we will come back for a second. I've never actually come up here, so I'm just going to check if there is an item up here. I don't actually know if there is one. I don't think there's actually much point to that little... Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's much point to that little raised area. Anyway, coming back up this way towards the trees. Again, watch out for their frost breath and their grab attacks. Try and get a couple of hits on them, on you. And again, if they're going to attack, just roll, and you should be able to avoid the grab. Very easy to get frostbitten here. And then to the left here, there's a whole rotted section. You can go and get the frost, frozen weapon magic there. There should have been 3 flies. Not entirely sure what the third one is. But I digress. Let's continue. Again, you want to try and take out these trees a little bit. There's quite a few of them, and they'll all use their fire attacks on you, which get really frustrating. Just a matter of sort of running right and left to avoid them. Very frustrating. So again, try and take them out before they get a chance to get all that fire on you. And just watch out for those grabs and the frost. That's most of those tree ladies. Now we can start dealing with the wolves. I tend to go and deal with the right hand wolves first and then make my way to the left hand ones. Oh, okay, there's still one tree lady left, sorry. And now they will start calling out for each other as well when you start fighting the wolves, so just be aware of that. I think there's a couple of items down here. Just try and scour the area from left to right. My typical method. Yeah, so there's one at this tree here. There's not many items, there's not many useful items in this little section. There's just lots of wolves. And the wolves will call in backup, so try and take them out one at a time. Hold up your shield. Just gives you a chance to avoid the attack and then get an attack back. Dog methods. I use the same method for the dogs as I do for the wolves. If you start to get too many wolves on you, it can become a little bit annoying, so just try and get back. And try and take them on one by one. That sounded like a tree lady. Ah, because it was a tree lady. Okay, once we've taken out the majority of the wolves, we're going to just stick out of this area. Because there is going to be a bigger wolf on the left, and we don't want to aggro him unless we need to. We will be aggroing him, but I just want to deal with these items first to make sure we get them. Now there is a tree lady here to the right. Can be worth just taking her out before we deal with the guys up here. Quite a few enemies. I wouldn't even get that item until we dealt with these enemies. The longer you take, the more javelins start coming your way. They will throw javelins at you for quite a distance, so just keep rolling. Didn't actually realize all of those tree ladies were alive. I tend to actually speedrun grab the items, so. Make use of the shield. I would definitely recommend having that 100% block shield. And just try and get to the left or right of the frost attacks when the tree ladies try and use them. Oh, and that's what happens when you don't manage to avoid the tree ladies attacks. The grab. Once you've taken all those followers out, you can come up and get the follower javelin. Now the follower javelin is actually quite a cool weapon. It uses FP when you want to throw it at enemies, but just the fact that you can use it as like a spear or as like a throwing object, it's pretty good. Pretty cool. Especially nice for the PvP moments where someone's trying to run away and they're on really low health. All you have to do is get one hit on them. Okay, so we're going to have the wolf dropping down up here. So try and get rid of the little wolves first. Because otherwise you're going to have to deal with the little wolves and the big wolf. Now you don't have to take all of this big wolf's health out. But try and dodge the majority of the attacks. Have your shield up as you're ready to dodge, just because then if he does happen to hit you, you'll be a bit better off. You can actually dodge through that attack as well. What I do is I stay at this sort of distance, and that makes a double attack. So what he'll do is he's not wanting to do it for me. At this sort of distance, he'll usually do that, the 2 bite attacks, and that leaves him open to easy couple of right bumpers. Oh, rolled a bit early. So that's the double bite, and that gives you a chance to retaliate quite well. And then he will disappear on you like that. Soul item there. And as we continue on, we're going to have to come up against some Millwood Knights. Now these guys are quite tough, just warning you. So again, you can actually leave out this whole section if you want to. This is a very minute part of Ariandel. It's only really if you want the Millwood armor, if you want the follower javelin, if you want the Millwood great bow, that you've got to go through this area. There's no bosses or anything here. There's no huge need to go through it. But the Millwood great bow is something that I would recommend going through here for, because it has that explosion weapon art, which allows you to sort of blow people off areas, which is like just an amazing force ability. For these Millwood Knights, as you can see, you pretty much just want to get behind them as soon as you can and get the backstab. Now you've got to be a little bit careful if you're battling them here, because there's going to be one up top that's going to try and shoot arrows down. So typically I won't actually battle all of them. I'll just use these little pillars and run through this way. This path's a pretty good path to get through. Just means that you're not having to deal with as many arrows. Hold your shield up and then you can get the hits back. Variation on that wolf. Okay, so we're gonna have to deal with this guy, I guess. The timing on that weapon, the Quakestone hammer, is quite difficult to deal with. Try and get behind for the backstabs. That's my biggest advice. Follow it up with the right bumpers, and you should be okay. But, yeah, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. The DLCs are a lot more difficult than the base game, in my opinion. Which is, it's been pretty standard for most of the Souls games. So like this guy, for instance, you can try and fight him on the staircase, but it's going to be a lot harder, so it just takes that extra bit of time just to get him down, bring him down to a nice even platform, and then you get the chance to backstab and follow it up with the right bumpers, and that usually will finish him off. Coming up the tower, there should be one looking out the window in a second. There's this ladder that you can take up, and then there'll be the one looking out the window. There is that Titanite, so Crystal Lizard there as well. We'll come back down for him a little bit later. Hopefully he'll still be there. I've never really perfected having him stay there, I don't think. I guess we'll deal with that guy later, unless he's dead. Keep coming up the tower, and there is the item just across there. We're not going to get it just yet, because I don't want to mess up this next bit. So let's get the important item, and then we'll get the secondary items afterwards. So this is the ashes that you'd want to get, and there's a soul item there as well. So be very careful as you walk across here. And you can go and get the captain's ashes, which is quite useful. And now you can either jump across that section that we showed you a second ago, or you can drop down this way. Two ways to come down and get the Millwood axe. From there you can just drop down onto the staircase. And if we follow the staircase down now, this is where the Crystal Lizard's going to be. Now often he gets away from me. I'm going to try and get him this time. I find it very difficult just because of the narrowness of the staircase. There we go. And he has just one Twinkling Titanite on him, so he's really not vital. You can use this section to actually plunge the Millwood Knights. Oh! Not like that. Again, make sure you hold up your shield. You see how that completely saved me that time. Get ready to roll as they're starting to do the end of their charge. That should be all the items in this tower area. We still have a couple of things to go I don't think there's anything down here to the left, but I'm just going to make sure, because I don't think I've actually ever bothered to even come down here. So let's find out. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything as far as what I can see. Don't think there's anything down here. Don't remember there being anything down here, but I just wanted to check. Ah, there is something down here. It's 6 homeward bones. So if you're very concerned about homeward bones, or maybe early game, then maybe you might want to come down there. But it really isn't worth it. The main place you do want to come up is this direction, up to the left. And this is where I'm just going to speedrun it because I really can't be bothered trying to deal with all the enemies here. Stay hugging the wall to the left, and what you want to do is you want to roll through any arrows, hold up your shield, and okay. This is really not ideal. It looks like they're going to force me to actually fight them. Okay, so maybe you want to do that area a bit slower, but every time I've done it before, I've just literally run through, grabbed the main item, and got out of there because it's just a bit of a gank fest. It's the simplest way I can put this. So, what you want to do, as I was trying to explain earlier, is you want to run through, you want to grab the Millwood Great Bow and the Great Arrows, and you want to get out of here. That should be the only items that are around here. I'm pretty sure no other items that you even want. So once you've got those, we're going to take the shortcut back to the bonfire. So this is going back to the rope cave bonfire. Just keep in mind you got some wolves up there that are going to want to come down at you, and you got a big wolf as well that's going to want to come down at you. So what you mainly want to do is you just want to run towards the edge here. That's going to break, and you'll hopefully land there, and what you can do from there is you can just literally fall down onto each of these ledges in succession and run. Make your way to the bonfire and you'll be safe. Okay, so that's sort of the more tricky part of Ariandel done. Now this is a little bit more straightforward. You can do it multiple ways. You can drop down to the left there, and there's the crystal lizard and other things down there. But we're going to actually end up coming up just sort of below me here. But it's going to take a little bit of work to get there. So this bridge can be hit down, similar to the one in the Smouldering Lake, one that takes you down to Smouldering Lake in the catacombs. So we'll hit it just as what is going on. Okay. Yeah, sometimes that happens. I have no idea why. But preferably hit that bridge when you're off it. But that'll lead you down to the depths of the painting bonfire. We're just going to come up and get a couple of things before we go down there. One thing that I'll mention is you can talk to Wilhelm here. If you hit him, he'll just disappear and give you a bit of extra dialogue. That's pretty much the only difference.
You're Lady Uria's Lord of Hollow, no bell tolls. And yet, you've slipped into the painting. Oh, no matter. If you've lost your way, the words of Lady Frida will guide you.
And you get different dialogue,
Now,
as you can see, with
inside,
Yuria
show
as well.
respect and listen carefully.
So this door, we're going to come through a different pathway a little bit later that'll allow us to come up through the door to the right here. So we're going to come back up through that door. But at the moment, this door, if you come up through that pathway and you haven't opened this door from the outside, you can't actually open it from the inside. So that's just a little bit of extra information. The other thing is we're going to use that ladder once we finish the Ring City DLC. We'll be coming back to that ladder. So lots of things going on. Again, we'll just quickly talk to Freed, why not? Because you can get the chill bite ring from Freed here if you talk to...
I am freed, forlorn, Lord, but I am now thou'st a place in that world.
And you can hit Freed and you can hit Wilhelm, and they'll disappear here. They'll just keep coming back though. I don't think Wilhelm does.
Spoken, Ventari no longer and be gone. Why, you miserable mad hollow.
So yeah, Freed will keep coming back there. Wilhelm will meet a little bit later. Going down this ladder, we're going to need to be very specific in how we do this. I might end up dying here. I can't guarantee that I'm going to do this a foolproof way. There's no real... well, I haven't found a foolproof way to this section. I will show you my path that I take that gets me there most of the time. So you can plunge that guy, and then you want to be pretty quick with this because you can have arrows being shot at you, but you also don't want to slip off. So be very, very precise with where you drop down. That guy you can just send off the edge, so as long as you're sending the twinkling off the edge, you'll get his item right now. And you can grab this ember. Now what you want to do here, again, be very precise in just dropping down out this way, and then coming up this branch, drop down onto... oh my goodness. Okay, well, if you do happen to fall down like I did there, we can come back up these branches. You saw where I was trying to fall onto, and I'm going to be back here now. So I was trying to fall onto that branch, grab the follower's saber, and fall down there, fall down again, and now we're okay. So a lot of people have said that the follower's saber is quite a good weapon. I've never really used it, but that's where you can get it. Okay, we're going to leave the enemies alone for now because we just want to get the items primarily. You've fought all these enemies before, so there's no real point in showing you the technique, it just wastes time. So we're going to rest at the bonfire. Now there is a boss to the right that we can do. We might actually just get them over and done with now, and then we'll come back and continue on to Freed through the other path. So let's go and take on Gravetender, and then we'll go and deal with Freed afterwards. Dropping down into this field, no items here. There will be a bonfire that will appear around about here afterwards. So we'll be coming back this way to get that bonfire. What I recommend is take on the wolves first. So get the wolf to jump at you, hold up your shield, and then get a couple of hits in. And again, wait for the wolf. Hold up your shield, and then get a couple of hits in. Hold up your shield. Come on. There you go. I'm just going to heal just to get that full effect of the Lloyd's Ring. Now you can backstab this guy, but I find it's easiest to just get those couple attacks in, bait out an attack from him. Come on. He'll do a jumping attack or something, and then you'll get a chance to get a couple more hits in. You can actually shield break, as you see there. Shield break in, and then that gives you a chance to get the riposte. Now you need to be quite aggressive here. You actually want to take him out before that wolf comes. If you don't manage to do it, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to use this pillar, Try and keep the wolf going around the pillar while you deal with the grave tender. And then what you want to do with the grave tender, and this might actually be better than my boss tutorial. My boss tutorial I hadn't method yet, but with the grave tender you want to try and stay at a sort of a middle distance from him. Bait this double attack, sorry the wolf. Bait the double attack, get 1 to 2 hits in, and then wait for him to do that double attack again. So that double attack is the one that you just want to keep baiting to get the 2 hits in if you can. If he does that raw, try and get as many hits in as you can, and then he'll do the ice breath afterwards. If you can get enough hits in, you can actually get a riposte in, which is really, really useful to finish that fight off. And you get the Champion's Bones, which allow you to do undead arena batches, so you can basically PvP with other people from the Firelink Shrine bonfire now. Once you've burnt those at the bonfire, same as you would do a undead bone shard. And you also get the Valor Heart weapon, which is sort of like your Spartan hoplite type weapon that he was using there. Anyway, we're going to continue. So we're going to go back to the depths of the painting bonfire, and this time we're going to turn left. Primarily here what you want to do is you want to actually hug the right hand side as we're coming to the left, just so that we can avoid these crabs as much as possible. Any trees that aggro on you, you do need to kill here, because they will start using fire once we get a ladder to come up. So you'll notice here you've got a corpse with an item, 2 homeward bones, and you'll notice there's nothing coming down. Now once we come down and we kill this tree lady down further down here, oof, I think the other one's Frost is getting me. No, don't know who was getting me. Anyway, if we continue down this path, then we have another tree lady. Now she's a lot more aggressive. What I recommend using on her is the fire bombs? I don't seem to have any fire bombs. I got a black fire bomb, so I guess I'll equip those. So that'll just kind of stagger her to make it a bit easier. Just so that she doesn't attack you and then get those couple of hits. If you want to attack from behind, that is a bit easier as well. And she'll give you snap freeze, which allows you to sort of put some frosty spell in front of you and sort of frost someone. And you can see now that ladder has descended now that we've killed her. So that'll allow us to go and get a Titanite slab up top. That's the reason I come down this way first, is because if we get that Titan and we deal with this bottom area, we can then go and deal with the main area of Ariandel. So we've sort of done the Millwood side area first, and then we go down and do the depths of the painting afterwards. And now we're actually going to go up and do the main part of Ariandel, which is the settlement and the chapel, which is where Freed is. As a bit of a lore, I think that there were 3 sisters. I think it's to do with Freed, Yuria, and Yorshka? I don't know, you need to check on Vardy video for that, but that's what I think I remember. Climb the ladder, enjoy the view, and then we're going to go and get the Titanite slab up the top. It's a very long ladder. Yeah, Sometimes just falling on that bug is enough. You don't even have to attack it, which is interesting. I would recommend attacking it just to be safe, but alright, so that's a large Titanite shard. Nothing really impressive at this point in the game, but again, you can come to Ariandel's earliest cleansing chapels, so that's where some of these items might come in handy for you. Say you're missing a shard, you want to just get a really quick shard, you can run through and get that pretty quick in this this area. Down here you've got a nice slide, one of the only slides in the game. I can't actually picture another slide like this. Just reminiscent of the Bed of Chaos from Dark Souls 1 boss fight. Now I'm just going to check this area. I don't think there are any items here, but there is this area where you can sort of look down on the map a bit from. And there is one item, I guess. Just a soul item though, so I tend to skip that on most of my playthroughs, but yeah, you now know it's there. And again, you can get down to the right there, but there is an item up to the left, so we're going to just come back up to the left here. This is my normal path that I would take through this area. Drop down once, drop down again, you can then plunge in this drop down. There's a couple of Corvians scattered throughout this area, so you can see there's one there. You don't even have to kill them, but and just get them out of your way. Some budding green blossoms that you can pick up there. And again, I only kill the Corvians to the left here, just so they don't get them away. There's a couple there as well, but there's no need to kill them all. Now this part is going to be the oops, wrong button. This part's going to be the tricky part because we have a Corvian Knight coming down there. Now what you want to do is you want to hold up your shield because he can deal a lot of damage, and you want to be ready to roll past those attacks as much as possible. Use your shield as much as you need to. As you can see, if you are not guarding during that, it's absolutely insane the amount of damage and bleed that they can cause. Try and get behind them as much as possible, and the backstab is going to be what saves with these knights. It can be really annoying. They can be parried, and if you're really good at parries, you can attempt it, but I would definitely not recommend it. Especially if you're new at parrying, just don't do it. You will probably die. Alright, so there's an ember there. You want to talk to this guy, and it doesn't really matter what option you choose. I choose I'm Ash, because I'm the Ashen one, so fair enough. And if you just follow his dialogue through, exhaust this dialogue, we will be able to come back and get a slab from him after the freed fight. So that's always nice. Pick up the bonfire here, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn back around, and I don't think there's any items to the left here. I'm just going to make a last check. No. So follow the bridge around, and we're going to go to the left. Now there's two shortcuts. We'll be opening these shortcuts very shortly. Get it? Shortcut shortly. Yep. And we're going to come up to the left. Now watch out for this guy who's going to try and spew on you. Try and avoid the spew. It's not much fun. And then come into the house, because what you can do is you can grab the ember here, and then we'll pop back out and we'll continue down the same direction to the right. What's that I'm seeing there? Hang on, where does this connect to? Ah. Let me just... Oh, hello. What? Okay. Never in my entire playthroughs have I done this. So doing a walkthrough can help you guys, just so you know. I've never been through that gate. I've never known how to open that gate. But yeah, you can get a simple gem there, apparently. So for everyone watching, there's an item that I have never got in any of my playthroughs. Never found that area before. And coming to do a walkthrough because I think I know where everything is in all these areas. And then you get surprised like that after like 20 playthroughs. So, maybe it's because I'm not that observant, but I just feel like Dark Souls is the game that just hides so many of their items so well that it really requires multiple playthroughs to find them, or following a walkthrough very closely to find them. Having even said that, I did miss one Titanite chunk. It's a pretty obvious one to the left in Archdragon Peak last time. I just happened to find it straight after I finished the stream, so my bad. But I don't think I missed any other items there. So. These have been pretty complete walkthroughs. I've intended to sort of 100% walkthrough. I might have missed one or two items here and there, but most of the items, especially the important items, should be used in these walkthroughs. So I hope that they are useful for you, especially if you haven't done these areas before. I found walkthroughs to be immensely helpful when I was doing my first playthrough of this. If you kill that crystal lizard, you get a couple of large Titanite shards. It's a bit of a whoop-de-doo at this point in the game, but hey, large Titanite shards, nothing to scoff at if you get them for free. You can jump off this ladder, and that allows you to get the crow quills. So if you jump from up top there that we just came from, you can get the crow quills. Now the crow quills are what this next Corvian knight that we're going to come across will be using. So it's one that is sort of a rapier mixed with some throwing items. That's so weird to see that gate open. I've never seen that gate open through my whole set of run-throughs. Dark Souls gets me every time. Okay, so we're going to go back up the ladder now. Quite a few run-throughs the same area, so make sure you don't rest at the bonfire between these runs, just so that you don't have to keep dealing with that Corvian knight. And so now we're going to go and find all the shortcuts and do this sort of big house bit. There's heaps of shortcuts coming back through this area, so you won't have to do it many times if you find them all. Alright, so this is our challenge now. This is the Corvian knight with the crow quills. So you just got to be really careful of him. Try and stay up close so that he doesn't throw those quills at you. And just hold up your shield and try and get behind him. If you get a backstab on him, make sure you follow it up with the right bumper attacks as he's getting back up. And that's pretty much it. You can run to this root and jump up on the building here. Just as a little side note, Red Kangaroo, one of the guys that I play with quite a bit, he's the one who showed me this. Just have to time it right. And if you time it right, you can get up on this roof. And now, just so you know, I'm not going to really follow this roof through very much. But just so you know, there is an item. So this guy will normally drop down towards you. You can kill him here. And you can actually drop down to this roof as well. And then we'll be getting onto that roof over there. So there's some rusted coins that we just picked up. And we'll go through that doorway there as well to go up further. Anyway, dropping down, this is the normal way that you do it. So if you're not comfortable with that jump, this is the normal way you'd go. Through these houses, you can go to the left. Now, there's nothing hugely important to the left, but I thought that you could actually go through a building entrance there. There's that building there. Let me just do that roof jump again, just to see what's in there. I don't think it was anything important, but I just remember going in that building before. Nothing majorly important, so you can skip this next little bit if you want to, until you see me having done that house back to where we just were. I'm not very proficient at this jump, it's just sort of after the route that you need to jump. There we go. So, let's see what was in that house. Ah, there's a dark gem. So if you do want the dark gem, you can go and do that jump and get in there, or you can try and jump from the other roof Actually, I don't even think you can do it from the other roof. Maybe you can jump up here. I don't know. I feel like I went up there before, but I'm not even entirely sure how I did that. So yeah, use the roof if you want to get that dark gem, I guess. Just watch for these guys who will want to try and push you. So if you're going to come that way, make sure you roll through that area. And again, you can just run through this area to the left. If you run through there, you won't get dropped on. But there's quite a few guys on the roofs that'll try and drop on you. So just be aware of that. This guy will try to vomit on you, so get ready to roll or just get through his vomit as much as you can. And then this house, there's nothing too important again, I don't think. No, there's just these guys who'll get in your way. So it's just a bit of a trap, to be honest. And then there is an item just down here to the left, so you can grab that one. And then what you can do is you can come up here, come up the ladder. And what we'll be doing is, instead of continuing on that way, that's the way that we actually want to go to get towards the boss. There's an extra section that you can drop down onto here. There's an item there, we'll get it in a sec. And this is that building where we talked to that guy and said we are. You can come through this upper section of the building, and we can come along this little bridgey area. Come across the wooden beams, and then you'll have a couple enemies here to the left, so just get ready for them. The mage is quite annoying. Corvian mage, who knew? And you can get the crow talons there, so crow quills, crow talons, both of those you can get in this area. Side note, what you can do here is you can actually come down this ladder. You don't have to come down the ladder, you can actually just drop down if you want. It's very short, but that's a shortcut. So if you remember, we went and fought the Corvian Knight with the quills just down there. Well, this shortcut will take you back up to the roofs now in a lot shorter time. So nice shortcuts, useful. We will be coming back to the shortcut in a second. So if you want Slave Knight Gale's outfit, which is one of the guy who brought us into this world, and the last boss in the Ring City DLC, sorry about the spoilers, we will be coming across Gale's armor. Yeah. So this next section, oh, sorry, I actually forgot about that guy. Make sure you kill these guys before you go through that door if you're going to take this slowly. So what we're going to do is, instead of going up the ladder, which is where we actually want to go, if you want Slave Knight Gale's stuff, you're going to drop down, down here, and try and finish those guys off before they can poison you or toxic you. And there you'll get all the Slave Knight gear. So this is the other door that was locked before, that's now opened. And we can then take the shortcut back up to the roofs. And then what we'll do is we'll just be able to come back through this door and go up the ladder now. This next bit gets really annoying, so I haven't really worked out the best way to do it. It's probably going to be to actually throw a firebomb or try and kill it another way. But if you can, get this crystal lizards. I'm actually just going to drop down, just for completeness sake, just to show you what he actually has. I don't think it's anything majorly important, but just for completeness sake, he has a twinkling titanite on him. Again, that crow up top there tries to come and kill you. So you really want to go and get that twink as soon as you can if you're going to get him. My advice is just leave that whole little section. You really don't need it. You can go into New Game Plus or Get twinks another way, buy them from the handmade if you wanna. It's only 13,000 souls for a single twink, so I would rather pay 13,000 souls than go and die to a Corvian knight up there. But hey, it's your choice, it's your souls, it's your game, so you do what you gotta do. Anyway, so we can ignore that bridge to the right now. The only thing that was really there was the crystal lizard. But seeing as this crow is going to attack us, I'll just go and show you that anyway. Try and get behind him, get the backstab if you can. Didn't work so well there, but right bumpers will work if you don't manage to get the backstabs. So as you can see, going down in there, there's nothing for you down there. No point in going down. It's just literally a trap, pretty much. Continuing on the rooftop, we don't have any items to the right here. We just have one item up on the roof. As a bit of a side note, if you're an archer or a mage, you can try and take down the enemies that are in there, and you can get the item up top there now. But my recommendation is not to do that. If you're a melee character, I would just drop down this ladder. And first thing you want to do as you get down this ladder is you want to go and open this gate. This is the gate past where we had that Corvian Knight with the crow quills. So that'll lead you back to the bonfire that we got a little bit earlier. So it's a really good shortcut. Definitely recommend. And the only other thing here is there's a little side path around to the side of this building. I don't think there's even an item here. I don't even recommend it, but just for completeness sake, you can go there. I don't even think that leads anywhere. No, you can see the dead body there. He's got nowhere. There's really nothing, as far as I know. I might have missed something, but as far as I know, there are no items in that little section. So no real point for you to go around that side of the building. I was just showing you that it's a bit of a weird Corvian ambush area. This area is going to be really dangerous. What you want to do is you want to try and lure these guys out one at a time. So if you can get one of their attention, there we go. I think we've got his attention. Bring him out so that you don't get ganked. There we go. Alright. I think we've managed to get very lucky, and we've managed to get one coming at me. Yep. So again, hold up your shield and get around the back of them. Try and get that backstab. Oof. Very hard to actually get it, but very rewarding if you actually do. Because then you can follow it up with... Oh, hello. Forgot about the tree ladies to the left here. I don't usually even deal with them because I don't usually worry about going in that building, but you can get the Way of White Corona in that building that we were just in. So again, part of the walkthrough, just want to show you where it is. So make sure you deal with those tree ladies if you haven't already. And now we can come and deal with the Crowquill's enemy. Again, try and get behind him, hold up your shield, roll past his attacks. Oh, and we got riposted. That's the only danger with holding up your shield. Usually they won't break through your stamina, but it's the beauty of stuffing up the backstabs. And there's your sharp gem that he dropped. The Way of White Corona was what I was trying to pick up. So that's the attack that, again, spoilers, but Stave Knight Gale will use the Way of White Corona, the white discs in the end of the Ring City DLC. So you can get that spell, that miracle there. Yeah, we've got the fight with Vilheim. So what you want to do with Vilheim again, get him to attack. If you can bait those attacks, you can get 2 or 3 hits on him and then wait for him to attack again. I would recommend using Undead Hunter Charms if you've got them on him, because he'll try and heal quite a bit. Although, actually, I don't think that's going to affect him, just thinking about it, because he uses miracles to heal, not... he uses miracles rather than Estus. So again, try and bait a couple of attacks. Oops, I meant to roll. Made a couple of attacks, and then right bumper. I don't tend to backstab him much unless he does the heal, just because it's too dangerous trying to get past the Onyx Blade to try for the backstab too much, unless you're co-oping it. Don't try and attack when he's got a shield up. And just watch out for his Dark Hand attack as well. He'll try and grab you with that white hand. Make sure you try and backstab him when he does his heals. He doesn't seem to want to attack me, so I'm just going to take the initiative here. And see, if he does that Dark Hand attack, he does give you a nice opportunity to get some hits in. Try and finish him off, but don't be too aggressive, as he will keep trying to attack you. And sometimes you get lucky with that guard break. So from him you get the contraption key and you get the Onyx Blade. That'll allow you to open this contraption. You can actually get hit by that. I tend to do it for a bit of fun sometimes, but no need to do that. And you can come and talk to the painter here. And then what we'll do is we'll just go around the side. We'll open the grill. And what we're going to do is we're going to just rest here, get our Estus back, and we're going to go through the rest of Ariandel. I think there's actually an item just back down. If we just drop down here. There was a couple of things that I did miss. Just want to make sure that we get those. So if we drop down to the right here, you can come around the side. I thought there was an item down here. Oh, maybe I'm mistaken. I think what happened before was I thought there was an item here because this is the chapel where Wilhelm was. So if we go around this side, there's the young white branch there, and 3 rusted coins. And then that's pretty much it for this little bit. So this was to the right of the chapel. I don't tend to even worry about going, but just for completion's sake, I just made sure I did. So this is where we fought Wilhelm. So continuing on from here, we can now use that that gate that we opened, and we're going to go up this area. Now there is a speed run way of doing this. I'll show you the quick path afterwards, but we'll go through and we'll get the items first. So just watch out for those guys with the shields. Try and guard break them, but obviously if you've got other people around you, you want to try and backstab them first. Whoa. Now I tend to not worry about this area because there's not too much important, but there are things like the follower's shield and things that, I don't know, some of you might want, so I will try and give a guide on this area, but I find it just to be a huge gank. So if you can take them on one by one, do so. And if you can shield break them, do so. If you can backstab them, do so. Try not to let them surround you. Okay, make sure you're using your shield. Okay, so down here, I think that's the follower's shield. No, it's not. It's the prism stones. No, there was a follower's shield around here. Again, they can drop lots of their armor, so very easy to farm that armor. Especially with just the number of them that are around here. I know there's a path up to the left here. I know there's a couple of... It's a bit of a maze, this area, to be honest. I tend to just try and follow the quick path through, but we'll try and showcase all the items. Okay, so that's all those enemies dealt with. If we drop back down, we can actually go across this tree. Oh no, we have to come up top here first. So coming down here, you can actually open the shortcut. I have never used these shortcuts. I know that'll take you up to the chapel quicker, but I honestly never use these shortcuts. That'll take you back down to where the painter was. And then you can cross over the tree here. Just watch out for that guy. Shield will do the job. And Titanite chunk. So, as you can see, that there's not a whole heap of really important items, and they all take quite a while to get to. So, as I said, after I've shown you these items, I'll show you the quicker path through this part of Ariandel. It's just basically a follower camp. There are a couple of things that you might want. You might want the earth shaker, and you might want the quakestone hammer. I will make sure to showcase them. But all the rest of the section is just pretty much backstabbing to your heart's content, grabbing whatever they drop, and picking up the very minute amount of items that are around here. So that's just an ember. And to be honest, if you're not familiar with how these guys fight, you're probably going to lose the ember just trying to go and get that ember. As you can see there, I'm fairly experienced with them, and I'm still ending up getting hit quite a bit just because of the pure gank factor. Oh, should have broke him. That was bad on my part. You can try and take these guys on one by one, but it's almost impossible, to be honest. I don't know, maybe if you're a ranged character you might have a bit more luck. Okay, coming to the left here, I'm pretty sure there was an item around the side. That's the follower's shield. I knew it was here somewhere. And then the other real important items are going to be, as I said, the Quakestone Hammer and the Earthshaker and the Follower's Torch, all of which we'll get to very shortly. So once we've dealt with the enemies up here, I'm just going to show you the quicker way up. Oh. Ah, thought there was another one there. Alright. Okay, so let's go back to the bonfire, and now I'll show you the quicker way up, the way that I'd normally take. If you're not worried about getting the follower's shield, then this is the way that you should probably take. This is the way I take every time. So it's literally pretty much a straight run upwards. Also there's the Titanite chunk there. Again, stuff that you're probably not going to need unless you're coming to Ariandel pretty early in the game. Which I don't recommend. Alright, so bonfire is just down here. So typical path from the bonfire. You will come straight up. And you will come straight up to the right. Keep following this path up. You'll go past the bell, so you can see the bell up there. Just follow the path straight up past the bell, and then just keep going up. It's pretty much a straight direct path, and then that's where we were a second ago. So after all that migrating through the maze, getting pretty much nothing, that's going to be the path that you want to take. What we can do now is we can actually drop down. This is where we're going to get the Earthshaker. So if you want the Earthshaker, which has got quite a nice AoE effect, come down here. All there is really is a couple of soul items. So the main thing that we're going to want to do is just get past these guys and grab the Earthshaker. Earthseeker. I thought it was called the Earthshaker. Earthshaker sounds better. And then there's another item here again. Just nothing important. I think it's just a soul item. Yeah. One more. You can pretty much avoid most of these guys as long as you're running it decently fast. I wouldn't recommend bothering to take all three on. And you can drop down back to near where we were before. You can see there's another drop down there that you can do. And so this is the shortcut back to where we were before. So back to what we normally do. So once you've taken that quick path up, we'll come down this direction, and there'll be a couple of wolves that want to attack us as we get here. So hold up your shield, and I think they've already jumped off the ledge. Alright. There still will be one here. So again, as long as you got your shield up, easy, no problems. Come back and grab the item. And then the follower's torch is just down this direction, so just watch out for the guy who's going to get up and try and use it on you. It actually can be quite a useful weapon, that follower's torch. Weapon art is pretty amazing, just in terms of looking really cool with blowing the fire at enemies. And it can actually deal quite a bit of damage if you upgrade it fully as well, which I was quite impressed by when one of my friends, Red Kangaroo, showed me how he's used it. I don't think there's anything down there to the left, to the right. I'm just going to quickly check just for completeness sake, but I don't think there's any items down here. I think this is literally just dealing with the wolves section. Just have your shield up, wait for him to attack, and then you can get the retaliation. Makes them a lot easier. Coming up to the left, make sure you take this path to the left. The main way that we actually want to go is to the right, but if you want the Quakestone hammer, we're going to be coming to the left here. And you're going to see there's a guy with a bow there. He's going to also be able to take out a hammer. So you want to get past him and get the Quakestone hammer. But usually he's going to be really cheeky and not let you past him. So what you want to do is you want to try and roll past him, get the backstab, and then try and finish up with a couple of right bumper attacks. It's not always easy, so I would recommend trying to get back as soon as you can after he attacks, because he will deal a lot of damage. So try and keep going and fishing for those backstabs. And there's your Quakestone hammer. That was the weapon that he was using. Okay, the way that we want to go now is down this direction. And so what we're going to do is we're going to wait for that bow to explode, roll through that attack, and roll through, roll through to the large titanite shards. And what we can do from there is we can actually hit the tree down. And as you can see now, this that path is going to give you quite a shortcut back to the area that we were before. So you can come down here, and then you can come down back through the other tree there, and that'll take you all the way back to where the painter was and the elevator was that we sent down. So painter's just down there. And as much as that is cool, I honestly can't see myself ever using that shortcut, just because it's so much quicker just to run through run through past the enemies and just come straight up and over a shortcut here. So I don't tend to use it, but if you are struggling with flies, for instance, in this area, then you might want to use it. But I would always have a torch equipped for these flies. I don't at the moment, but I do recommend it. What you want to do straight away is you want to run through and come up this staircase. And what you can do is you can open up the shortcuts into Ariandel Chapel. So as you can see, those are the big doors that we opened before, and there's our chapel bonfire. I'm going to rest the bonfire here, and I'm also going to probably equip the torch just in case we happen to get hit by those flies. So that'll get rid of the maggots if they do happen to get any maggots on us. Not too much to mention here. There's a fly over here that you can get rid of. As far as I know, there's no items there. There's one item just across the way. Just keep in mind, you can actually drop down straight there. You can see there's a mechanism just down there. I'm trying to look at it right now. We will be getting to that mechanism another way, but if you want to take the risk, if you have the silver cat ring, or if you just want to be prepared to lose a bit of health and not deal with the huge gank that we're about to run into in terms of flies down there, you can take that method. Now these flies can actually go and charge at you when they do that big charge from a distance. They're going to try and spew maggots on you. That's another spewing maggot attack that you just saw there. So they really are pretty disgusting, and you pretty much want to be ready to use your torch at any time. Again, no real items down there that you need to worry about. I won't be dealing with them. There is a parting pyromancy flame as well that we're going to be able to get down here, along with Wilhelm's armor and a couple other things. So I will point all those out. Down here, like, you can go and fight all those flies, but I'm just going to run through it. So what I would recommend is just literally run to the center. You can get your blood gem, and then run around to the right, open this shortcut up. We're going to be going through there in a second. And, oh, grab the Wilhelm's armor and helmet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull the mechanism. Now this is the mechanism I pointed at earlier. That's going to open the door by Freed, so you can actually start the Freed boss fight now. And then the secret area is where we're going to go and get the Pyromancy Flame, so the Parting Pyromancy Flame, which can be used to restore some Estus uses, as well as a general Pyromancy Flame. And we'll also get Floating Chaos, which is one of the pyromancies that Dunnel will give us. So 2 twinks that you can get from that area, and then we're going to drop down this route system to get to Dunnel. Now, I detest this route system. I'm actually not entirely sure that you really want to be listening to me for how to get down here. This is the way to go, is my spiel, I guess. But yeah, I'll hopefully be able to get down here. I'm just not super confident in my abilities to show you the best path or anything like that. You want to just go super slowly. The amount of times that I have fallen off things here. So you want to drop down onto that branch. Again, super slowly, super carefully, because it's so easy to die here. Drop down onto that branch. Again, I don't think there's anything further up. And then drop down onto that branch. Can then follow this along. Again, don't go too quickly. You can slide off in an instant. Drop down onto this branch. That actually went a lot better than I thought. And then drop down onto the main section here. And then we're going to have the Pyromancer's Parting Flame, a Homeward Bone, and we're going to come across Dunnel as long as you're embered. Straight away if you can. Get around the back of him, get a nice big backstab on him, and you can follow up with some right bumper attacks. Oop, he doesn't want any of that. So make sure you avoid any of his pyromancies. They're the most devastating out of what he's got. I wouldn't worry too much about his sword. If you avoid it and you just get some sort of distance attacks, that would be my recommendation. Dunnel's actually doing a pretty good job here. He's putting up a floating orb, so just make sure you roll to the left to avoid that one. And then now, if you can catch him in just at the end of a roll, that's sort of the easiest way to stop him. And again, watch out for that floating chaos. It just sort of annoys you more than anything else. And catch him in those rolls. Just gives you the upper hand on him. You can again try for those backstabs. So if I want to hold up my shield here and just get in nice and close. But again, I don't know. I find it difficult to get backstabs on him. He's very good at his rolls. Try and get running attack in if he does that floating chaos and then get back. Again, you can roll through his pyromancies, which can give you a nice little advantage. He's got so many. Again, if you got an Undead Hunter charm, I would use that on him. There we go. Okay, and what we're going to do from there is we're going to go back to the Ariandel Chapel. So bonfire last rested at. And now we have Freed. And then next stream is when we'll be doing the Ringed City walkthrough. This has actually been a lot longer stream than I thought. 74 minutes for Ariandel. There's so many small, insignificant items. I feel like watching a speedrun of this is, in a lot of ways, a lot more useful. But if you want to see all the items, I have done a pretty good job of getting everything. I don't think I've missed anything. Anyway, it's time for Freed, so let's get to it. quite a few techniques that I'll be able to describe in the Freed fight. I have done it in my boss tutorials as well though, so once I get to uploading all my boss tutorial videos, you'll be able to see sort of the techniques for this fight in a bit more detail. But I'll try and describe it here as well. So again, try and roll around the back of her as much as possible, try and get those backstabs. It is a little bit difficult at times, so what you got to do is wait for her to do a couple of attacks and then you can follow up. What she'll do is she'll disappear at points, and there's a technique to easily finding where she's going to go to. So you'll see she disappears. If you run up towards her, you can actually see where she runs to. You can also have a look at the snow that she flicks up. If it flicks in a certain direction, that's the direction she's going to go in. Make sure you follow up any of your backstabs with right bumper attacks as she's getting up. And backstabs really are your friend in this fight. So again, you can see this, the snow went to the left here, so you can find where she is without too much trouble. But if you get up close to her, it just makes it that lot more easier to find where she teleports to. Second phase is pretty much, the way I describe it, is you're ring-a-ring-a-rosying around Freed and Ariandel at the same time and watching out for her AoE attacks. So she's going to send a lot of the frost AoE attacks at you. So if you just keep going around to the right, then that's going to give you the easiest way of getting the hits in. My method is I'm going to focus on Ariandel. So as long as you keep an eye on Freed and watch if she's going to heal Ariandel, the main thing that you want to worry about is actually getting those hits in. I'll tend to just keep going right. Reason being is then Freed's AoE attacks will mostly miss me, and I'll get a lot more opportunities to get hits on Ariandel. And again, watch out if he does that bowl downwards attack. He'll often do a slam, which would be a big AoE as well. So both of them love AoE attacks in this phase. It's a gank AoE phase for sure. Try and stay around the back of Ariandel, and again, watch out for Freed's heals. Get a backstab on her, tell her not to heal Ariandel as much as possible. And again, just keep trying to follow right around path. Oh, and you got to watch out for those AoEs. Try and keep an eye on Freed. It's not always as easy as it sounds, but you can get the odd stab in on Freed as well. So. Keep an eye on where Freed's body is at this point, because as much as it looks like the battle's over, it's really not. So you'll get your Titanite slab, and then just keep an eye on Freed's body. And as soon as this phase starts, she's going to do a black AoE attack. What you can do is wait for her to actually start that attack. You see how the black comes along the ground. As soon as she goes up in the air, you can roll behind her. Make sure you're locked on, and you get quite a big opportunity to get a backstab in. Doesn't seem that big if it's your first time doing the fight, but once you get to know her attacks, it is a lot bigger than you think. She can do a lot of invisibility things, so there I actually saw her go over my head, so she's going to be here somewhere. I've seen her, just trying to track her. This section gives you a lot of time to get the backstab in. Try and make sure that you can follow her and get the backstab in when she does the invisibilities. And try and follow up with quite a few. Okay, there we go. Right bumpers. And again, make sure you punish that black AoE attack. But now's where you get really quick attacks you got to watch out for. Try and get back if you can. You do need that time to just heal, that's fine. Just get back, get your heals, and then continue the battle. Oh, I was hoping I could get behind her and get the stab in there. Okay, that didn't work according to plan. Just watch out for these black serpents. Try and get behind her, try and roll behind her as much as you can. Unfortunately, her frost AoE is quite annoying. But if you can hang back a bit, you can bait his dark AoE attacks, which is a lot easier to punish, as you can see. And that's pretty much it for Ariandel. hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a bit of a long one, but at least you should be able to see where all the items are in Ariandel. We got a lot of the important ones, like the Millwood Great Bow, like the Quakestone Hammer, the Earthseeker, and a lot of just different weapons like that. Vilheim's armor, Pyromancer's Parting Flame. A lot of things in that video to show you guys. A lot of insignificant ones as well, but at least it's quite a complete walkthrough. This will take you to the Ring City. You can also find a teleportation to the Ring City in the Kiln of the First Flame. So we'll see you at the Dreg Heap in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And see you in the next one. If you want to check out any previous videos, you can go to my YouTube channel, NADMEL74 Gaming. I also have the Facebook page and the Discord by the same name if you have any suggestions for the future. Thanks guys, and we'll see you in the next one.